Well, I'm back with yet another exciting episode of meaningful conversations from influencers, latest trends, and what's hot in the market. Well, speaking of trends, one of the hottest trends in the market is the sneakers. Now, in India alone, the sneaker segment is forecasted to generate a revenue of approximately $3 billion US. Now, within the sneaker market, there are two aspects. One is the retail part, and the other one is the resale bit. Now, did you know that you could actually make money by reselling sneakers? Well, according to our channel checks, if you bought a rare sneaker for say approximately 15,000 rupees, owing to its rarity, you could actually resell it for 30,000 rupees in the reseller market. And this business of sneaker reselling is making Gen Z anywhere around rupees 3 to 6 lakhs a month. Now, well, to decode the business of sneakers, I caught up with Vedant Lamba, who's the founder of Mainstreet Marketplace, which is one of India's largest sneaker reseller platforms. Let's take a look at this conversation. Hi Vedant, welcome to ET Now.
How are you doing, Geeta?
I'm doing good, Vedant. Vedant, I want to talk to you about the business of sneakers. So now there is a resale bit and then there is this retail bit. So for the benefit of our viewers, can you decode these codes for us?
Yeah. Essentially, retail is the world of retail, right? It's where consumers shop for the most part. So if you want to buy something, you're technically shopping at a retailer. It could be an e-commerce retailer, physical retailer, whatever. It's the first line of product moving from manufacturer or wholesaler to a consumer. Now, a certain number of products, case in point sneakers, in this space are rare and limited in nature. So they sell out very quickly at the retail stage. Okay. And because there's such a high demand to supply delta, they enter this resale market in an almost regulated fashion because of how much movement there is. So when a shoe like this, for example, released a few years ago, it sold out in like seconds. And as soon as it's out, it's in the aftermarket. Because all those people who managed to get their hands on it, at least 80% are now in the aftermarket saying, look, I've got this shoe, I'm ready to sell it for 2x the price I paid for it. And there's a lot of people willing to pay that price. Okay. So that is a resale industry that we are sort of operating in and trying to regulate, so to speak.
Okay. So talking about the resale market, what is the size of sneaker resale market in India, and what is the opportunity or what is the headroom for growth?
So now, the thing is that currently it's a fully unregulated market, right? Okay. So TAM numbers are very obscure. I can tell you that I think there's at least 1,000 crores of resale happening a year in the country. And I think obtainable from that for a single platform is between 3 to 600 crores. And that is what we are chasing heads on. But I think the real opportunity here is to treat sneakers like an alternate investment. Okay. And to put very low effort into it, but make great returns in an individual capacity. Right. Like we know a lot of young folks who are in college, who have jobs, who are doing this as a side hustle. Right. And make between 3, 4, 5 lakhs a month in a profit. Yeah. And that's via us. Yeah. So as we grow, we'll have way more of these people. And as more of these people come into play, we'll also grow. It's hand in hand, right? Right. So very excited to sort of see that opportunity grow and escalate over time.
Right. So you spoke about how people are making money off shoes, but paying the amount that you're paying for these sneakers, it's what upwards of, I heard a shoe was for 20 lakhs and upwards of that. Yeah, that's the most expensive shoe, right?
The nominal, the regular day-to-day movement of shoes that will make you your profit is actually like 15 to 20,000 rupees. Right. In that range, you can make anywhere from 5 to 20% margin on a shoe in a quick sale. And that as an ROI is really high considering the flips can happen pretty quickly. So keeping an eye on how quickly you're rotating your capital can actually effectively make you a lot more money in a fixed period of time, be it a month, a quarter or a year.
Okay. So how does this make sense financially, say as an alternate investment, as you said? How do sneakers make sense financially?
There's a couple of ways that sneakers can sort of be sensible. Okay, we can talk about this shoe. This is the Jordan 1 Obsidian. Now, let's say you're just an enthusiast who wants to wear sneakers. But you're like, look, I'm smart about my money. Spending 25,000 rupees on a shoe is just stupid. Right. Right. But you will buy some other shoe for maybe 10 grand, 5 grand, 8,000 rupees. That's someone who is making a decent amount of money, spending that much money today on shoes become normal. I know it's a very high sum. Yeah. Like when I was growing up, it was absurd to me that people would buy shoes for 5, 7, 10,000 rupees. It was crazy. But now it's become very normal. The thing is, with that 5, 7, 8, 10,000 rupees sneaker, the consumption is quick. So, as most people are probably familiar with the structure of a balance sheet, when you make a purchase, it's an expenditure. It's not necessarily an expense. It becomes an expense as consumption comes into place, and there's usually depreciation on that.
Right.
So you buy a shoe for 10,000 rupees, it's almost an immediate consumption because there's no way you'll get any money back for it. But when you enter the resale space and you buy something that has some sort of value, and we've seen tons of people do this. Okay, if you bought the shoe and it released because you liked it, once you're in the space and you've done your research, it's pretty clear when a shoe's price is going to go up. There's a few other shoes that you just know were going to go up anyway.
Okay.
This, when it came out, was selling for 25,000 rupees.
Right.
So if you bought one at that point of time,
That was the retail price for it?
that was the resale price. The retail price
resale.
is 16.
Okay.
16, 17 grand. Now it's reselling for 25,000 rupees at that time.
Right.
If you didn't want to explore effort into this to make money, but as a consumer, you said, I want to wear this shoe, you bought it. If you wore it for the last 3 years, after paying, even if you paid 30,000 rupees for it, you could sell a used version of the shoe for 40,000 rupees today.
Wow.
Because the shoe is now worth upwards of 60,000
Okay. In the resale market?
in the resale market.
Okay.
So you've actually made money on consumption. There's not only
You've consumed it and you have
you've
resold
consumed
it.
and you've made money.
Okay.
That's where I think it makes most sense, and there's the widest application for people who want to get into the space and wear nice shoes,
Right.
but don't want to sort of consume their capital towards it. It's a decent use of your money. While you'll still have a nice pair of shoes, you'll be happy about it, and you can keep doing that. We've seen tons of kids do this. And if not even at the resale price, they'll stand in line to get it at the retail price, wear it for some time, sell it for a profit, then buy something else, and over time grow their collection like that. So I feel like for all the young people who are watching this space and dreaming of getting their first sneaker, I would highly recommend doing the work, doing the research, understanding how it works, and sensibly making your first purchase in a smart fashion that can also be financially viable.
Right. But speaking of research, Vedant, you are in the business of sneakers and you have all the access, you are a part of the community. But for a kid who's watching this, so for a youngster, where do they get their research from? Because what are the sources? How do you know that, this is a value purchase? How do I invest in this particular stock or shoe?
And honestly, there's no inside info. I am also today learning from the kids. It's the kids who actually know because they're the pulse of the community. You have to do a little bit of work in sort of like reading up on the internet and meeting people and talking to other sneakers and so on and so forth. When you talk to enough people, it's very clear.
Right.
I also get my info from that sort of profile.
Okay.
So it's just about, honestly, like it's putting the work in. There's no exclusive access to information or anything like that. It's pretty democratic.
Okay.
And if you put in the same way with the stock market, right? A fundamental analysis needs to be clear.
Correct.
Technical analysis is a whole other game here, right? But a fundamental analysis drives most of it, especially for consumers.
Okay, so you're talking about these kids, these individual players. You are, I'll call your Mainstreet marketplace a part of the organized sector, right? So who are these kids? What is the share of the unorganized sector, these small little players versus you? And what are the other, what is the competition from the organized space for you?
I think you would say, you use the term versus, but there's no versus unorganized versus us. We are both together in this. I would say roughly as the unorganized sector grows, as soon as a young reseller starts selling more than 3, 4, 5, 10 shoes in inventory, it's hard for them to manage. And even at the lower volume, there's so many people, it's hard to build credibility and such. So I'd say at least 80% of their volume moves through us. So we are because of them and they are also because of us. So we are very happy to be working with them. There's no us against them. In the organized space, there's a couple of other players who are doing a fairly good job. Thing is that this industry is growing very rapidly. So we're not trying to, at least the way we see it, our horizon is not on what is currently available and how much of that we can capture. Although, I'm pretty certain we have a massive chunk of what all is moving in the organized space today. That doesn't keep us going at night. That's not what keeps us up at night. What really keeps us up at night is how massive the larger opportunity is. So we're really just chasing that. I don't think there's much value today in looking left and right.
Right. Also, you have recently raised $2 million and you have some very big names backing you. There is Dipinder Goyal, Kunal Shah who are backing your organization. What is your vision? How do you plan to scale Mainstreet Marketplace? What is your vision for the company and where do you plan to allocate the funds? What are your areas of investment?
Like we mentioned, in fact, in our last interview as well, Ankita, for us, we're sort of realizing we're not selling sneakers, we're selling to a profile of people who like nice things. So expanding categories into other nice things is honestly what we're doing. These things stand for something. You're buying into a culture, buying into a lifestyle. The goal is to expand that. that may have us move out of resale very soon. And very soon we might not be just sneaker resellers, we might be just, lifestyle curators and just expand categories in that division. Like I've always said, I'm not a sneakerhead. I wasn't born a sneakerhead. I didn't grow into this because I'm a sneakerhead. I have a strong passion for business building. So we will build in the direction of opportunity. And if that helps us maintain good quality brand values, then that'll be great.
Okay. So from reselling to, are you planning to move into retail? Is that?
Potentially.
Okay. So, and what are the other verticals that you're looking at?
Majorly just luxury brands.
Okay.
So like a multi-brand luxury retail of sort. We just launched our own brand. Okay. It's called Mainstreet Gear. It's some wonderful product. We have a great team working on it, and it's been a phenomenal response from our community. Whenever they touch it in the store, they close their eyes and touch this and compare to something else. They think this is the nicest product we have, and they're comparing it to some other very large luxury brands. So we're hoping to build this into its own thing over the next few months.
And what are the product lines within your own brand?
We've just launched with apparel for the most part, but we're not trying to define or put it into a box of any form. We're exploring and understanding what Mainstreet gear is. So tomorrow, I don't know, it could be a candle, it could be, we've made some dresses, we might do accessories, caps, we'll find out.
Right. Vedant, what are your challenges as a young entrepreneur, and if there is any advice that you would like to give to someone who wants to get into this space, or a young budding entrepreneur?
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anybody to get into this space. It's not been done in India before, and that's not a good thing, which means there's a lot of things that you really can't learn from anywhere else. We struggled a lot with accounts, first few years. It was very hard. We're still, rectifying a lot of those mistakes, things like that. They were earnest mistakes from the bottom of my heart, I'll tell you that. So anybody starting any business, I would recommend sort of really early on digging in and doing the research to understand what the boring things are and what they stand for, because they really matter long term. So if you're planning to build something big and impactful, put the time into the boring things that you don't understand. If that means finding the right people, making a higher investment in it, do what it takes to really just sort out your fundamentals. Because, we had a few mess ups there, and God knows I'm regretting it today, but it's part of the process. We're putting all the time in to fix and learn all those things.
So you said that there are not too many players in this space. Does that also mean that you have had difficulties in growing the market, or growing the market is a challenge because there has to be a market for you to address it?
Yeah. So when we started, there was no market.
Yeah.
And a smarter individual would know that no market opportunity means you shouldn't build. But I was young, dumb, and naive, and I bet my life on it. And luckily, the market grew over the next few years. So we look really good now. We were lucky enough to be at the right place in the right time. Today, the market is growing rapidly. Are we growing it? It would be nice to take credit for it, but we're not really. We're sort of enabling what's already happening. If not us, someone else would do it. We're happy to just be here. The challenge here really is that we are not in control of those forces, and that's the real challenge. And we can't accelerate speed of growth of this industry so much. If we could, it would be great. So I think that is one of the bigger challenges here. Overall, I think the biggest challenge is that it's a very complicated supply chain.
Okay.
The resale space supply chain is extremely complicated, especially in a country like India. We're dealing with new regulations. We're working with sort of the government to sort of clarify how this operates, why it operates, what it stands for, working with a bunch of great advisors to sort all of that out, with some great firms who are helping us out, our investors are helping us out. So it's very challenging. It seems very simple. And while a lot of it is simple, it's not easy. So those are some of our bigger, real challenges. And luckily, we've got a great supply chain team that we've put together over the last 2 quarters. And confidently, I can tell you we've got the best in class supply chain in the space in the country. But I know for a fact that it's extremely hard to do.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Vedant. But before you go, we're going to play a quick rapid fire round with you. So are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So if you were stuck on an island and you could carry just one pair of shoes, which one would it be?
I would carry a pair of Yeezys.
Pair of Yeezys?
Yeah.
And why?
Easy to wash, comfortable.
Okay. So if you could design your own pair of shoes, what would it look like, and are there any specific features that it would have?
Gum sole, canvas upper, very simple white shoe with plain lace ties. Very simple shoe. It's my
All
style.
right. Your favorite shoe?
The Jordan 1 Fragment High from 2016.
All right. One quirky incident you had, while sourcing a very rare shoe.
Very rare shoe quirky incident. Oh my god, we've had so many. Um, what's a quirky incident? Oh yeah, this actor once wanted a shoe and he told us that he wants it, and it was a very expensive shoe, 4-5 lakhs, and this time we didn't have the money to fund it, but I didn't know how to ask him for the money before the shoe comes.
Yeah.
And now it's been 3 months since he's asked me for the shoe, and we sort of know where to get it from, but we don't have the money to fund it. So it's just like this, I'm really worried about my relationship with him.
Yeah.
And then somehow I think my prayers worked for
answered,
us, were
yeah.
answered, and this director messaged me saying, hey, I want to get some shoes to gift an actor. I'm like, who's the actor? And it was the same actor.
Same actor.
And then he paid for it upfront. And we managed to send that actor and we put a little card in it.
Yes.
That was a Mainstreet card. So he still knew it came from us.
Oh, he still doesn't know it belongs.
He knows it came from the director, but the card was a card from that director, but a Mainstreet branded card. So he knows the shoe still came through us.
Okay, which of the actors has the best sneaker game then?
Which actor has the best sneaker game? Harshvardhan Kapoor has the most.
Okay.
I think Ranbir Kapoor has the best taste.
Okay. So, okay, this or that, Jordans, Nike Air Jordans or Yeezy?
Jordans.
Okay, high rise or low rise?
High tops.
Okay, and vintage sneakers or futuristic sneakers?
Vintage.
Okay, and the most expensive pair of shoes you have ever sold?
Upwards of 20 lakh rupees.
Which one was that?
It was
Chicago.
Air Easy Red October.
Oh, okay, all right. All right,
Yeah.
Vedant, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ankita.
Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure as always.
Thank you. With that, it's time for us to slip into a short break, but you don't go anywhere. After the break, we get you what's trending and what's hot in the market. Welcome back. You're tuned into ET Now Hangouts with me, Ankita Saxena. Well, in the first segment, we spoke about the business of sneakers. And speaking of that, my colleague Sharad Dubey is here to help us decode why the sneaker industry has picked up and how big is the sneaker market in India and the headroom for growth.
Well, yes, we are talking about the sneaker culture in India, and let's look at the important factors which have led to the gaining its ground. And of course, the first one being is the increase in the disposable income. This is where the sneakers actually kick in, where especially the prices, they move above the 5,000 rupees mark for the per pair. Also, the greater knowledge is coming from the culture, and this is coming from the Western society as well, and how the culture has percolated in the Indian markets as well. Online shopping, that is where you are able to get some new sneakers and pair of kicks which are not available in the physical outlets, and the athleisure segment, that has also been a very important driving factor. Apart from this, customization and reselling trends, these are the premiumization trends which we have understood for the sneaker industry. But now let's look at the numbers. What are the numbers coming ahead for the India sneaker market? It's roughly $2.63 billion of revenue expectation is there, and they comprise of roughly 20 to 25% of the total footwear industry in India. Now the overall volume projected for sales is roughly 6.5 crore pairs by the year 2028, and the industry growth that stands at roughly 6.2%. Now let's look at the sneaker makers, the key brands which are there selling hot in the market. From Nike, we have Air Jordans as well as Dunks. Apart from this, Adidas is also having originals, and also the bigger names include Onitsuka Tiger, Asics, Vans and Skechers. But now let's look at what the Indian startups are doing in the sneaker space. Generally, they are actually there for reselling, as well as some are there coming on the retail space. And the names include the Mainstreet Place, Marketplace, the Sneakers Mint, Veg Non-Veg, Super Kicks, as well as Soul Search.
And now to get a sense of the sneaker culture and how does the sneaker acquisition and reselling really work, I have with me Yash Mehta, who's the founder of the Sneakers Mint. Welcome to ET Now, Yash. Yash, could you explain to us about the whole sneaker culture in India?
So basically, the sneaker culture started from the western parts of the world, mainly from US, and since there it has been entering into different countries of the world. And yeah, India has picked up that trend. Uh, I guess around 5 to 7 years back, but not many people were knowing about it. People didn't knew S of the sneaker. That was once a face of India, and now there's so much hype about the sneakers and everything that some of the resellers like us, they think they are an asset class. We invest in them. So that is how the sneaker industry has grown. And in India, since the past 2 3 years, the revenue from the sneaker industry has peaked $3 billion, and we are expecting that by 2025 it will be around $5 billion. So that is there, and even at that point of time, the industry won't be peaked out.
Well, Yash, tell us, how does the whole sneaker acquisition and reselling works? How does an individual go about doing it?
Yeah. So basically, it's a trade secret, but it's not that big a secret. So you need to be updated with the news following around on the net. When is the shoe dropping? Where is it launching? What is its retail price? What colors? What sizes? And everything. So in India, we have some stores like Super Kicks, Veg Non Veg, and we also have the Nike, obviously, and the Nike app. So you need to be knowledgeable about it, when the sneaker is coming, how it is coming, and yeah, you have to be there in the line.
Also, Yash, what are the communities and factors that are supporting the rise of this sneaker culture?
So there's a lot of community upcoming in this industry. So apart from sneakers, I would say sneakers is a subset. The superset of this is fashion. Fashion includes everything. It's clothing, it's accessories, it's sneakers, it's how and what you wear. So apart from sneakers, there are other things as well. Like people are going crazy about watches as well. Like brands like Rolex, Rado, and Swatch. So even that is there. And when we dress up feet first, and then the outfit comes along with it.
Also, finally, Yash, talk to us about your new initiatives. What are you doing on your front?
Yeah, so I started my journey around 6 months back. I'm very new into this, but I have studied a lot before entering this community. I've studied a lot about the sneakers, how this market is going, and what are the factors we need to take care. So in this 6 months, I have learned so much. I've made so many connects, and just like 10, 15 days back, I sold my 100th sneaker. So that is there. And the initiatives I'll be taking is I have to yet grow my Instagram page. Apart from that, I'll be building a website, and more than these two, I'll be trying to inculcate knowledge in people, that what sneakers are, why are they costing so much, and what value do they have inside them.
All right, Yash, thank you so much for joining us today. Well, it's that time of the show where we tell you what's hot this week.
Today we're gonna dance together as one.
First up is the Quick Style, one of the fastest rising stars of the international music scene, is coming to India with a bang. Catch them live as they tour across Phoenix malls. The Quick Style is known for the unique mix of music styles ranging from soul, funk, and jazz to hip hop, trap, and EDM. Witness their genre-defining live performance as they bring their energy and infectious vibes to the stage. Get ready as one of the world's biggest DJs makes his way to India for a 4-city Sunburn Arena tour. Relive the nostalgia of the best of trance with Armin van Buuren as he makes a comeback after 8 long years. Catch him perform live in Bengaluru, Mumbai, Kolkata and Delhi NCR. Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of ET Now Hangouts. I'll be taking a leave, but I will see you next week with some more latest trends and interesting conversations.